Okay, so today I'm going to be putting a scope on my 300 Weatherby Magnum. I bought this gun back in '98, not too long after I got married, a couple years after I got married. And my original plan was, if I ever traveled the world hunting, this would be a gun big enough to basically hunt any animal in North America. And that was my original thinking, was that someday I would travel and hunt and throughout America. And I had a wife, I had kids, I paid my home off, and never did really make those trips. So anyways, it's sat in the closet for, gosh, I killed a few deer with it when I first got it. Shot a couple of coyotes with it. Just trying to get used to the gun and, you know, get some confidence in it. Then my primary deer rifle, which is a 30-06, the scope was bad on it, and it wouldn't keep a zero. And so I end up robbing the scope off my 300 Weatherby, gosh, probably 12, 13 years ago. And it's set in the closet. So when it's set in the closet, it got a little rust on it, and I put it in the safe and kind of wiped it up a little bit, but it didn't seem to matter. It had some rust on it, and it needed to be cleaned up, and I just kind of let it neglected the gun. Decided I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it as a long-range deer rifle this year. So I took it down and got it Cerakoted, sandblasted, Cerakoted. Looks great. The finish is burnt bronze. So instead of looking kind of old and rusty and like it wasn't bad rusty, it just had a little rust on it. And I'm kind of particular, and it looked bad, and I felt bad and hated myself for allowing it to look that way. But basically, it looks better than when I bought it now. So I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I got it fixed up the way I want it. And I've got a new scope for it. And so I found a Zeiss, a Terra scope. It's kind of the lower end Zeiss. I can't afford the higher end Zeiss. But it's supposed to be a good scope. And it's a 3x9 by 42, I believe. Anyways, I want to get it set on here. I want to get it sighted in today. I have some ammo. These are reloads that someone reloaded from my dad's 300 Weatherby about the time I bought the gun back in '98. Those are the ammo that I hunted with then. So I want to sight it in with that, and then a guy loaned me some 300 Weatherby reloading dies. So after we get this thing sighted in and on paper, I've got some brass. I want to work up some reloads for this Weatherby. The 300 Weatherby can shoot a 180 grain bullet in well over 3,000 feet per second. That's really traveling. So when a bullet hits a deer that fast, it tends to do a lot of damage and shock and put them down. There's not near as much blood trailing with a gun this size. So my thinking is, let's get it, now that we've got it Cerakoted, we've got it cleaned up and looking good, let's get it sighted in and start using it. My dad has a Colt Sauer. Sig Sauer and Colt got together back in the 70s and made some firearms together, collectively together. My dad purchased one back in the 70s. Someone had ordered it at Walmart. Never paid for it. And the Walmart just kept marking it down, and my dad would go in every week and look, and no one had bought it, and it just kept getting further and further down. So it got down to a price he could afford, and he purchased it. He's hunted all over the world with his 300 Weatherby. So when I decided to buy one, and that was the primary reason I bought it, was, hey, it's the same caliber my dad's been hunting with, and they're actually rated for everything up to a Alaskan brown bear. So theoretically you could hunt anything in North America with it. That used to be a goal of mine when I was younger, to hunt all across America and try to kill one of everything. And really, I've just stuck with the animals of Arkansas. I've never really hunted out of state a few times. Bear hunted in Canada once as a kid, as a teenager. Killed a few bears in Arkansas, but the desire to really hunt across America is, I guess I just kind of lost desire. Maybe I lost finances too. Maybe a little of both. You know, I've got two teenage kids, and they seem to take up most of my expendable income. There we go. This was an accurate gun when I shot it last. Like I said, that's probably been 12 or 13 years ago. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Get these tightened down, we'll head out to the driveway / shooting range. It's imperative on a gun this large with this kind of recoil that you make sure these are tight. I use blue Loctite on the bases, and the blue is removable. The red Loctite is not. I used to put red Loctite on the bases, and I always said, well, I won't ever own a gun unless it's got a scope on it, not a deer rifle anyways, or big rifle. So I always put red Loctite on it, and that was fine till you go to switch out scopes, and then you strip out some the rings, and then you got to take the rings off, and you can't get the rings off because you red Loctited the bases on. So you're better off to put something on rather than nothing. The blue Loctite does not permanently seize the bolt, the bolt inside or the screw inside the action. But I do not put anything on the rings. I only do it on the bases. I may be wrong about, maybe doing it wrong all these years, but it's worked all these years. So I just make sure I have these tight with the wrench that comes with a loophole. I try to get the spacing about the same on each side. That's pretty tight. What's the eye relief at 9? Oh, still plenty of eye relief. All right, let's go shoot it.